As if right on cue, the same week I released my video talking about the direction the game's going in, why I still play, why many of you still play, naturally they have to go ahead and re-release Tsurugi this week. Which, if you read the patch notes for this update, it was mentioned that Tsurugi was returning. Tsurugi, by the way, is the Tier 9 premium Japanese battle cruiser. Currently, at the time of recording, you can purchase in the premium shop. However, you might be mistaken for thinking that the ship just came out. It didn't. She was originally released 6 months ago. Half a year ago, fellas. But she's now returning to the armory. In a scheme that Wargaming has been following pretty regularly here recently, what they've been doing is releasing premium ships in some type of early access event. I call it an early access event, even though Wargaming doesn't call it that, because they come out in these random bundles or these mission chains that you either have to grind or pay your way through, usually pay your way through to finally get the ship. And that's the only way they release these ships for a half a friggin' year. And then they properly release them 6 months later. They've done that with a few ships in the past that were released in late 2022, 2023, and, well, of course we thought that trend was going to continue. I've made a couple of videos talking about the FOMO they're trying to push with those ships, saying, hey, look, if you don't get them in these random bundles, then you're not going to be able to get them for like half a year. But apparently, that wasn't enough. Because right now, they've taken it to the next level. Because not only has Tsurugi just now been re-released 6 months after she was originally released, but she's not staying around apparently, fellas. Because if you look in the armory, in the premium shop, you notice that the Tsurugi event, where if you grind your life away, you can potentially get a free Tsurugi, and some fellas have managed to grind over 1 million base XP in the time this event has gone live, which is, are you okay? Do you need some help or someone to talk to if you're playing this game that much in that time span? That or you're using a bot. So, one of those two things is happening. But anyway, that event's gone up where you can, if you're in, I think, the top 10, get a free Tsurugi, and then I think the next 20 or 30 get like half price off, and so forth and so on. There's other rewards you can get by doing that event. But anyway, you look in the armory in the premium shop, that event is up. It's like, okay, cool. And then you see there is of course, an admiral bundle where you can throw an absurd amount of money at the game and get, a commander for the ship and, signal flags and economic bonuses and such, and that bundle, which like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. That's the admiral pack they usually offer with the ships anyway. And then you see just the ship itself, and it's like, oh, there it is, finally. And it is priced as a normal tier 9 premium is. It's 19,000 dubs, which, yes, that's a lot of money, but in the game, that is what tier 9 premiums cost if you want to buy them outright with the blooms. But if you noticed, there's a little clock icon down there at the bottom that says 4 days. That's right. Apparently, the Tsurugi is leaving in 4 days. Why? Why Wargaming? Are you this much into pushing FOMO that we're not going to have just ships added to the shop anymore, where you can simply buy them, but now it's going to be like a rotisserie of ships that we have to, oh, is this going to be in the shop now, or is this going to be removed, or is it, if I want this, maybe I want this, maybe I don't want this, oh, better get it now before it's gone, right? Are you going that hard into FOMO that you can't just release a ship anymore? I know, I've played this game for a lot longer than many a player has at this point, but boy, it was nice when premiums just came out and I just gave Wargaming my money for a ship that I wanted. And it was cool if I wanted to wait a bit, to maybe get that next paycheck. Or, maybe, the ship doesn't look that interesting. Let me see what happens with it. Maybe it'll get buffed, or maybe it'll get nerfed, and then I'll pick it up a little bit later. What's so wrong with that? Do you have to push FOMO this hard to where the ship's just they're not just going to be released normally anymore? And in fact, if you look in my playlist of ship reviews, half of the premium ships that I've reviewed here recently have not been released normally yet. We still don't have a Carl the 14th in the premium shop. Navarin isn't in the premium shop. That tier 9 Soviet secondary battleship that's kind of fun to play, not in the premium shop. The Shield, the big Graf Spee at tier 8, not in the premium shop yet. Many of those ships, again, are about as old as Tsurugi. 6 months, 5 months, getting up to a year since they've been released, and they're still not in the premium shop. Now, some ships like the Colossus, I can understand because that ship's a little cracked, even though they did nerf her. But Wargaming, what happened? What happened? Are you this greedy for money now that you can't just release premium ships anymore? It's bad enough that we have to wait 10 months after a tech line is done for those ships to come out now. And, I can kind of get the argument there. It's still kind of like they're in testing, but you get a bigger sample size when they're in early access. So maybe you might get a pass there. But, really? With premiums now? I mean, there are people that will gladly just buy anything because it's in the shop. I mean, in the background footage right now, there's 2 Chikuma 2s. Those things don't have an overly high drop rate in the Wishing Wharf event, yet there are 2 in my game right now. And yes, I am playing the Surui because I did pick it up back when it was originally released. I'm not a CC or anything, so I do have to buy these ships when they come out, and in order to get a review out, or so I thought, or a review out on time. I guess I had 6 more months to make my Tsurugi review before it was even kind of relevant to the general populace. Yeah, people will throw money at the game no matter what. And again, just look at the amount of Musashis, Misuris, and such. None of those ships are easy to obtain, yet people still buy them. They'll throw their wallet at the screen. They'll throw their credit card or their mom's credit card at the screen the second something enters the shop. But I guess that's not good enough for Wargaming. So now we're doing FOMO squared, where, it's back, but only for a weekend. And if you want it after this, who knows when it'll come back, so you better pick it up now. And from what I've read on the website, it doesn't say if it's going to be added to the armory for coal or whatever afterwards. It just says it's returning to the armory. And right now there's a timer on that says 4 days. And I guess, it's in their interest to not tell you if the ship is going to be out afterwards, because, if you knew it was going to come out for normal afterwards, why rush out and buy it? And I mean, from what I've seen, from how that Wargaming operates, if the normal ship was going to stay, there wouldn't be that 4-day timer next to the normal bundle. And keep in mind that bundle that I showed you in the premium shop, that is not like any type of special bundle or anything. That is just the ship itself, nothing else, because I guess, again, they aren't making enough money from the people already just throwing their wallets at the game. So now they have to lean into extra FOMO. And if you want to release something truly early, Wargaming, fine, whatever, and have an early access period, that's fine, cool. But just release the thing. Why? Why is it so detrimental to your existence that you can't just release ships normally now? It's ridiculous that we have, again, the Shill, Navarin, Carl the 14th, Johann, just off the top of the head, 3 ships that have been released in late 2023 that are still not in the premium shop in 2024. Why? It's just ridiculous in my mind that this is getting to mobile game levels of FOMO. And again, with what we've seen with the Wish and Morph event, the Chikuma 2s, and even some of the early access events for the Techline ships, how they're dragging these early access events out for 10 weeks now. It's just ridiculous, really. And you know what? If Tsurugi shows up in the premium shop after this video comes out, and it does stick around, good, great. I am very glad that it is. But as of right now, it looks like it's going to disappear after 4 days. Again, I've gone through the website. I've looked at the articles about the ship. None of them mention how long they are going to stick around, just that it's returning to the armory. I mean, I don't know, guys. I do not know. Why? Again, I guess they weren't making money selling ships traditionally in the old-fashioned days when ships just came out and you just bought them and that was it. There was none of this tomfoolery about them being added or removed from the premium shop. It's just ridiculous in my mind, and Wargaming, I wish you'd stop this. Please. That this is just ridiculous at this point. But guys, let me know what you guys think about the Tsurugi. And oh, by the way, too, the Tsurugi isn't even like a crazy ship. It's just I mean, it does have 457mm guns on a tier 9 battleship, right? So those are big guns at tier 9, but the hull's incredibly weak. If you're a good shot, the shells are fairly comfortable, and you can bully cruisers and such, but it's incredibly weak. You get deep water torpedoes with a 15-kilometer range with a reload booster, so that's cool for dealing with battleships and such, but like, it's incredibly squishy in return. Like, you cannot take concentrated fire in a Tsurugi, which is what happens to many a battleship, because you're a big, long target that lots of players can hit quite easily. So, it does die quite quickly, but the guns are fairly nice. Again, it's just like an okay ship. So, it's not like the Rhode Island. That's another one. That's another ship that hasn't been released yet. Rhode Island. I'll say not cracked as the Rhode Island or as the Georgia, but it's just like an okay ship. So, yeah. Again, guys, let me know what you guys think about the ship and the situation in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday and wonderful weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.